this computer, and then I'm going to go live on Facebook. So bear with me. Good morning, everybody. We're going to be streaming live over here to Facebook into our group on Alkaline Secret Life. And so we have it there for posterity. Is that the right word? I'm so excited today. We have a phenomenal guest. You guys are just thrilled for everybody to see and hear what we're going to be talking about today. Happy February. Oh my gosh, first weekend in February. All right, it looks like we're about ready to go live, and we are, I can spell experience. Okay, go live. Here we go. It says I'm going live. I'm going back to my Zoom so I can see everybody. It says we're live on Facebook. Okay, excellent. Welcome to our event today. I'd like to stream this on Alkaline Secret Life, my Facebook page. So hopefully somebody on there can tell me for sure if that's working, and we'll get this thing rolling. Oh, it looks like I'm there, right? Okay, sweet, we're there. So now what we're gonna do is we have a very special guest. So today, typically on Saturdays, I like to run an experience secret, so everybody gets a chance to find out more about the products and what's going on and how we kind of have a biohack or a bio stack, just different product lines that we use. And in the essence of the first part of the year, everybody's interested in, kind of resetting their body, getting their body back in shape and losing weight and all of those things that go along with being healthier, right? But there's a very important missing element that is a precursor to becoming healthier because of all the things that we've done up until this point to our body. So I'm having this conversation yesterday with Laura Belg, an amazing woman, certified microscopist. She's got decades of experience in looking at blood. So she looks at your blood to tell you what's going on, not a blood test with markers on it. The blood is the determining factor, and she'll give you more details. And I'm just so excited because using the blood as a marker is a way better way as a detective in your body to find out what you can do to really feel better, get better, and get back to vitality, right? So on the road to vitality is the D word. It's called detox. And a lot of people are afraid of it, right? I mean, I got a book in the closet. It's in the closet. It says detox or die. I'm like, I'm putting that away. I don't know. It was scary. It was intimidating. Oscar's reading it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, we got to change the lifestyle, right? This is like a couple of years ago. And so we started learning things about the importance of cleansing. And there's a lot of ways to do it. And there's a lot of body parts to cleanse. But the bottom line is we're one big body. And we've got to treat it as a unit, and everything's synergistic. And I can't wait for you to hear from Laura Belg. So what I want to do is I'm going to put the spotlight on you. If I can figure out how to make this work. Yeah, there it goes. Spotlight for everyone. You gorgeous woman out of Columbus, Ohio, certified microscopist. That's a good word. And I know you've got decades of experience, but I wanted to kind of pick your brain on a couple of things about the acid load to the body, how it gets to be where it's at, and the acid alkaline balance that's crucial and important. So if we could start there, because I think it's a general aspect of why alkalizing supports our health the way it does, but mention what the acidity is doing and how long it's been doing it and why we're dealing with what we're dealing with if we have symptoms. So can you kind of start us off with that acid alkaline balance importance towards, what that's going towards our aging factors?
Well, that's
or is that too soon? You want to talk about your microscope?
I will start, I will, and I will continue. Right. So, it's kind of like Carrie and I were talking about yesterday. It's like you've got to live in reality about what's gone on in your life. Like everybody thinks if I don't drink and I don't smoke, then I'm healthy. I shouldn't have this or I shouldn't have that. And I hear people say it all the time. Well, I don't drink or smoke, so I shouldn't be sick. That is like, it's like, who taught you about health? You know, the bottom line of it is it's very innocent. Like, think about all the times in your life that you went and got your nails done. Breathing in those chemicals created acidity. Every time you went and got your hair done, every time you had pizza with the kids, every time you just were a normal person, you were in traffic, breathing in pollution. I mean, there are so many ways for our systems to accrue acidity. If we own animals, we may obtain parasites, acidity. Everything is about the acid levels in our system. And the reason why Carrie and I kind of got into this conversation yesterday, and we've been into a few this month, is because I went into a deeper detox. Because the home that I lived in up until a little more than a year and a half ago was loaded with mold, and no one would ever have noticed it because it was a big, beautiful home. So, how could anything be wrong with it? But the reality of it is, and I like to live in reality, okay? So, there were hordes of mold in it. And so it was making me sick. So I wanted to this January go into a deeper detox to get that out of my system. A lot of people don't even take mold into account that
Right,
there's anything wrong with it.
right.
For example, and the bottom line of it is mold causes cancer. Mold is the most horrific thing to deal with. So we don't want chronic disease accruing in our system. Should I not live in reality about the things that harm me? And I just walk around saying, well, I don't drink and I don't smoke, so I should be okay. I should be okay. Okay, then you got to be able to justify why your blood doesn't look okay. So, with that being said, I decided to live in reality about the things that I know that harm me. That's why Dr. Cohn came out with these products. Okay. Because he understands that just being a normal person and doing normal things and living a normal life can cause, the most innocent things can cause damage and create acidity in the system. The whole entire concept, period, bottom line is that no disease or otherwise can accrue in an alkaline environment. So
Yeah.
the only way to fix that is to alkalize. The only way to fix acidity is to alkalize. And if you're not alkalizing on a daily basis this day and age, and you're not working on your health on a cellular level, then you're just not working on your health, period.
Bingo.
And
And
that's the
biggest
reality.
and the biggest
So
acidifier would you say is emotional stress, right? The biggest.
emotional stress ignites everything.
Talk about that
That's
a
what
minute.
ignites everything, right?
Yeah.
So, that's a big one. So, when people go to look at supplement programs, and like myself, I know that mold, okay, so let's take cancer for example, okay? Cancer is not 12 things, cancer is not 36 things. Cancer is 4 things: bacteria, yeast, mold, and fungus. Okay. So
Wow.
those are the top things that I look for in someone's blood when I'm reading their blood, because those are things that allopathic medicine just kind of glosses over. And
Isn't that
so
crazy?
don't kid yourself, but every year of your life that's glossed over, that's every year of your life that those things have grown in the system, period.
Mm.
So, if you don't address it, but if no one tells you to address it, you're not going to. Like, for example, okay, so I was born with yeast in my system. I was adopted. Okay. So my parents didn't have any medical records or prior records or anything with me. Okay. So I was born with yeast, come to find out. But when I found out, I was about 30 years old. Okay.
Oh,
And I
wow.
will be 52 this month. So I was around 30 years old. Okay. So people are saying, well, you were so young when you found out. But think about it in reality. Okay. Uh, that had gone on in my system for 3 decades.
Yeah.
So, when it comes to everybody always, and this is the real killer, is that everybody always wants to take supplements to kill symptoms. Okay. So I can't sleep. I'm feeling this particular way. I'm feeling that particular way. I think I have parasites, whatever it is. Okay. That you have your symptoms from. By the time you get symptoms, you've been sick a long time. Okay. So
That's
that
the
symptom is
reality check
saying,
right there.
let's put
That's
the brakes on here.
yeah.
Right.
Nobody wants to look in the mirror.
So a lot of people will go to, well, herbs are good, right? Herbs are good. Herbs don't uh, kill viruses. Herbs, what they don't kill the disease in your system. What they do is they help you and aid you in creating an environment in your physiology that is friendly towards you getting better and accomplishing what you want. Okay. Depending on what kind of issue is going with you. But herbs don't kill disease. They just help promote a healthier environment in your system. They're great for nutrition. They're great to take nutritionally. I take fresh herbs all the time. Parsley is my favorite. Right.
Mhm,
So I
mhm.
teach a lot of my clients how to make parsley tea. It's real
Yep.
effective and it's going to help me and it's going to aid it. But when you take a product like the recovery starts fixing these things. It's not helping. It's actually on its way to help you fixing things because it is killing that acidity on a cellular level in your physiology.
And we talked about that. So the longevity of continuing to take something like this to reduce the acidity at the cellular level, we talked about cellular cleansing and cellular hydration and how important that is to be consistent, right?
Hmm.
Okay. And the from what we were talking about, you just said it again. If you're acidic, the answer is to alkalize. Period.
Right, right. And I
Okay.
mean, yeah, absolutely. So if you're, herbs don't alkalize. 99% of supplements don't alkalize. It's like the whole thing with COVID, for example. Okay. People will say to me, well, I'm taking really high doses of this really phenomenal, best research, saw it on the internet, vitamin C. Well, as long as you're toxic, your immune is going to be down. I don't care how much vitamin C you take. If
So
you have
talk about
a ton of toxins present in your physiology, you're still going to be toxic. Vitamin C, uh, first off, you probably won't absorb it, most of it, because unless you've checked your digestive system, how do you know you're even getting much of it? I don't
right.
care how good the product is. And it's not that vitamin C is bad, but it's like, it's like Van Gogh wouldn't paint on a dirty canvas. You
There
don't
you
start
go.
shoving supplements into a toxic body without
That's
alkalizing first and expect to
yes.
absorb them or get the benefit. That's why so many people go for like 6, 9 months a year on a supplement program. Maybe they got from a naturopath or a chiropractor and they start turning around and saying, hey, uh, I'm no better. I feel a little better, but I still have blah, blah, blah. And that's
Right.
why, because you're painting on a dirty canvas, you
Wow,
know?
that's a great analogy. So good. So
So
that reduces our
your
ability for those
doctor,
supplements to work.
I'm so sorry, honey.
So in essence, that reduces those abilities, the ability of those supplements to really be effective for us because we're not absorbing what they're sending.
Yes.
It's
So
not
when you
landing
start cleaning the environment up in your body and you
first.
start repairing the digestive system, you
Okay.
start dumping things out of your liver, you start doing these things, and you are making way for other supplements to become more effective in your system.
And
Okay.
so the alkalizing is in part repairing.
Well, your body can't repair until you remove a lot of the toxins.
Gotcha.
So
Super
you got
simple.
to walk before you run. So that's the stages that your body will go through. Well, how is your body in a healing state when you're loaded with toxins? It's not.
It's not. It's
It's
not.
not. Don't kid yourself.
100%.
Don't go to
Wow.
Whole Foods, buy a liver cleanse, and think you've solved everything. It ain't gonna
This is what started the conversation, you guys. We were talking about cleanses, different types of cleanses. And this is what started the conversation, whether it was a gallbladder cleanse or a liver cleanse or a colon cleanse. And I'm like, what? And she's like, none of that matters. First, you got to detox. So
Yeah.
let's talk about that for a moment. Now, the simplicity of detoxing, we hear the word, but we're going to talk about it specifically recovery detox because there's some things that we don't realize that we can do with this particular simple product. Okay. And there's no side effects, which makes it wonderful. But we do have 2 or 3 simple things that we're going to experience when we detox, right? So we talked about this yesterday. Some people experience that gassiness or burping or bloating sometimes, and you'll talk to me about what that is. Let's stop there. Let's talk about that. If somebody takes something or they're going through some detox and they talk about their gas, talk to us about what that means.
Okay. So let me use myself as an example. Okay.
Mhm,
So I'm doing some big cleansing since January 3rd. Okay. Because I want to make sure all that mold is out of my system.
mhm.
Okay. So what the recovery does is it breaks down that acidity. Okay. And I've been doing some pretty serious, pretty deep cleansing like over the last month. In addition to, okay. And let me tell you this, I started taking 30 recovery a day starting January 3rd. And my first goal was to see how I felt in 30 days. When I first started carrying the recovery, what, 7.5, 8 years ago, something like that, uh, I sat right next. Dr. Cohn was in my car, which that's my claim to fame in my lifetime. But Dr. Cohn was in my car, and I looked at him, and I just wanted to cry because I'm like, you do not, I know what this means. As a microscopist, that we've got a product that is killing acidity, and my eyes teared up. And, I said to him, he just looked at me and I said, well, how many are you supposed to take? And he's like, well, you really can't take too many. You know, he's like, I've got a guy taking 45. I'm like, well, God bless. So what happened is when I first started carrying the recovery, the first two testimonials that I got from clients, okay, really good ones, okay, were that I had a client that had esophageal cancer in California. They both testimonials were from California. This client had esophageal cancer. So he took 30 recovery for 30 days. And at the end of 30 days, he had no more cancer.
Oh
It
my.
basically cost him $200 to fix his cancer. That's what I thought in my head. Wow.
That's
It
not a medical
really
claim.
wasn't
That's just what
fast,
she
but it
thought.
was cheap and effective. Right.
We have to disclaim
So,
that.
yeah, exactly. Because you're going to need 2 bottles a week at that rate. Right. So then, um, the second client I had, she was originally from Columbus and her son got accepted in a Pepperdine. So they had to move out to California. Well, he got a really horrendous car accident on the 101 and he was bruised from head to toe. He's like 6'5" and he was bruised from head to toe. She called me 2 days later after taking after he took the recovery. She said, there's not a bruise on him. And I'm like, boy, we're really dealing with some serious stuff here. Ah, so I decided to I've always wanted to do it for years. And so I thought this would be a good time because of the mold issue in my system. So I started taking 30 recovery for 30 days. Well, when you are tackling, bacteria, yeast, mold, fungus, any of that kind of stuff, it lets off gases. And those gases are what cause the inflammation in our system. So when you experience flatulence or you're burping a lot or whatever, and those gases are releasing from your system. That's how you know for sure something's up. You have a lot of bacteria and mold and yeast and etc. in your system. So we try to keep the levels of that kind of stuff down in the system so it never turns into that big ugly picture of chronic disease, which could be cancer for some, diabetes. People who are diabetic tend to carry a lot of yeast in their system. You have got to pull that stuff out or else you're not going anywhere. It's like there just aren't these magic things that kill these things. It's really tough to get past a detox. So if you're really detoxing, really truly, and we're being honest about
Yes.
it, it's not always a whole bunch of fun. Okay.
Most
It's
of the time
not
not.
always, like I would rather be, sitting here burping than spend 2 weeks in the hospital. That's just me personally. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or be told I have cancer or
Yeah.
be told I have some other type of chronic disease. I think burping's pretty easy way out. Okay. And I just love people who complain about stuff like that, because like it's just not a big deal, you know? I I mean, okay, great. You probably earn those burps and farts, at this point. I mean, look how you've lived for 40 years, it's going to happen. You know, it just isn't a big deal, right?
That's
Yeah.
perfect. The other symptoms are the being tired or sometimes being overly energetic. Talk about those other symptoms of detox
Right. I mean, some
and
people go, start detoxing, and it's rare, but some people start detoxing and they're like, oh, I haven't had this much energy in 4 decades. And then other people start detoxing and are like, man, I'm really tired. I feel like I need all this other rest. And when you're detoxing, the whole concept of it is, and I don't care whose detox book you read or anything like that, you're supposed to love yourself during that time.
yes,
You're
yes,
supposed to be gentle with yourself and sleep more and care for yourself more. That's where you're supposed to be at. It's not supposed to be, well, I'm detoxing. Let me go work 17 hours today.
exactly.
That's not healing to the body. We all know that rest is very healing to the body. And I'll tell you what, I've decided because I've taken 30, and I have not skipped a day, and I've taken 30 recovery a day for 30 days, 35 days now, something like that. Okay. And I've decided to continue it on to 90 days because I've had such fabulous results, and I know I need the improvement, you know? Um, it's just there are so many improvements you could see. You could see less freckling on your skin because you're alkalizing. You could see a lot of weight loss. You could see your blood pressure go down. But this is another thing too that I want to inform people who are detoxing, okay? When you detox, there is an avenue that your body uses to detoxify. Okay. So it goes lymph, liver, colon, and out. Okay. And your elimination organs are being used to detoxify, etc. So everything has to run through those organs before it leaves the body, right? We all know that. So a lot of times, a lot of toxins will lie in the liver and colon. Those are the last two places everything is before it leaves your body.
Right.
So a lot of times, a lot of toxins will be lying in the liver and the colon before they actually get out of the body. Okay. And so what can happen is for a temporary period of time, someone's blood pressure can be higher, their liver enzymes can be higher, stuff like that can happen. And those are signs actually of someone detoxing because they're
Oh,
not going to skip over your liver and colon and just leave. There's no
right.
magic fairy. It has to go through those avenues in order to detoxify, get out of your body. So that can happen sometimes. So if you start detoxifying and all of a sudden your blood pressure is a little high for a little bit, or you go to the doctor and he says, well, your liver enzymes are higher. That's only for temporary until you finish pulling those toxins out. Once they're out, then you've got like a great picture of your health. I mean, you've dropped them. That's the cool thing. So that's a part of detoxifying too.
And
So, that happens sometimes. People have to go to their doctors for a checkup or for a whatever, for their health insurance, what have you. And they're like, well, I've been detoxing all this time and this is worse and that's worse. This is why, you have to
very
go through
good.
the avenues. Your body's not skipping over them.
No, very good lesson. Very good lesson. So it's worth the pain to get to the glory, if you will, right? It's
Well,
worth that
yeah. I mean,
temporary discomfort.
yeah, like I was saying to you yesterday, think about all the times you played. Every
Uh-huh.
every time you ate something that wasn't good for you. Every time you were exposed to something. Every time you painted a room, took in toxins somehow, and created that acidity in your body. Think about all the times you played. Well, detoxing is about paying. You play, you pay. I mean, right.
So Dr. Cohen says.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't
This
have to be
time.
horrific or anything like that. It
Yeah.
for a very small percentage of people is detoxing horrific, but it can happen. And if you're farting, burping, pooping more, so what? Get it out of your system. It's better out than in.
Of course, of
Yeah,
course, this is true. This is true. So now living life the way you do, with 30 a day. So this is Laura's protocol. Like she said, she's been taking 30 recovery a day, guys. 30 a day. I asked her yesterday, I said, how are you consuming it? Because I'm thinking, okay, I want to play. I want to try. So I'm going to put a little challenge out there, see if anybody else wants to play too. Because Laura's talking to her customers and they're on board too. So why not clean it up, right? Why not get
just
the
get it out
last
of the
year
way.
out and start the spread
Yeah.
year fresh,
Well, and
right?
that's how I feel about it. I don't, like last year I did a couple of light detoxes and that was great. And I removed some stuff from my system and I felt better, but I knew I wasn't going deep enough. And so this January, even though it's like my busy season, I just said, you know what, I got to put myself first this year. I can always work 17 hours a day. I can always, work 24 hours a day, really. But in any event, I really just wanted to put myself first. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue on my journey for a full 90 days. Okay.
Okay.
Because your red blood cells change up once every 90 days. And I'm going to
Right.
continue on my journey for a full 90 days and see where I'm at because I'm loving the results. But then I will never have to do it again. Never. I do this for 90 days and I'll never have to do it again. I would encourage everybody out there, bump up your recovery. It's phenomenal what happens. My head is so much clearer. My
Yes.
gums and my mouth are so clean right now because it's pulling and it's getting rid of all the bacteria, all that mold, all the bacterias from my neck up. I,
The
I
lymph.
swear, and I won't do this, but I feel like I could go 3 days without brushing my teeth. My gums and mouth are so clean. When I go
Wow.
to clean my ears are clean. They're not clear anymore.
Wow. That's
Right. So, and I
fascinating.
can feel stuff coming through my lymph system.
Yeah, yeah.
I can feel it's moving, it's getting out. I'm brighter, I'm clearer.
You
My
look great.
thoughts are really good.
You look
Well,
beautiful.
it's the dead of winter. Hopefully, I'll look a little better a month from now.
You look great. You're glowing, of course, but that's a sign of, the internal side being inside being cleaned out, like you said. And long term, it's the best thing we can do for ourselves. And I love how you put that where you don't have to do it again once you really do a massive cleanse like this at the cellular level, because it's taking everything out. I love that. That's why I got so excited. I said, you got to share with everybody, because if anybody's out there, like you guys want to play, we're doing this. So the recovery, we're doing 30 a day. So how she suggested it was 5 in the mouth. Just put it, do you tell them? You tell
Yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah. So okay, so the thing of it is also what you're talking about, Carrie, is that you need to be congruent with things. So if you do it, and I haven't had any like necessarily, outside of burping and stuff, but I haven't had any like detox symptoms where it's preyed on my energy. So I've been able to just do normal things. And then what I do, and it only takes me 2 minutes to do it, I lay out 30 recovery on my table. Okay. And I take five at a time. So what you do is if you really are dry here in your esophagus, you can take, before you do this, take some coconut oil, just put some coconut oil down here and it'll melt in your esophagus so you can do it. Okay, because I know a lot of people have problems swallowing a lot of pills or tablets because of thyroid issues, like I was saying before. So
Yeah.
I just put them in my mouth with a bunch of water and I tilt my head up and I just kind of, after a second or two, they start breaking down already because they're going right in your bloodstream. Okay. So and then I swallow after they've melted down for a couple of seconds. And then I'm able just to swish them back,
Yep.
down my throat. So yeah.
Yeah. And in
And
5
then it's done
minutes
in
or
2 minutes.
less.
I
Yeah.
mean, yeah.
What I felt this morning when I did that, the way you suggested, within 5 minutes, man, I had a slight little bit of congestion, and that just cleared out. It ran out. Like, okay, bye.
Because the
And
toxins are already starting to move.
yeah, from the ears, because I have an issue here, so I noticed that clearing right away. And I know John has had a sinus testimony from the recovery the very first time 5 years ago. He started it within 5 minutes. He was like, "What?" On his
Yeah.
sinuses. And we only gave him 3, so you can imagine for what 5 will do to the head. And so 5, and then so do you do that how many times a day? 5, 6 times a
Well, I
day?
do I do all my 30 at once and get it out of the way.
Are you
I just do it
kidding?
all at once.
Oh my.
Takes me 2 minutes and then it's out of the way all day.
Oh, wow. Oh, I thought it was like, okay, just drip it out throughout the day, but either way would work, right? If
Well, I
somebody
mean,
wanted to
a
take them.
different method's gonna resonate with everybody, but that's
Okay.
how I do it, and then it's out of the way. I don't have to worry about it.
Got it.
Just
Wow.
get it in you.
Wow.
Wherever you can get it in you, just get it in you. And try
Awesome.
it at least for 30 days and see where you're at in 30 days,
Yeah. How you
see how
feel,
you
what you
feel.
notice.
And if you're, I mean, the thing of it is, none of us are perfect. It's going to take at least 90 days to really get anybody, significantly better to where they want to be, no matter what they're using to detoxify. So 30 days is just the start,
Yeah.
and you think about how many years you didn't detoxify for. But when you take supplements at the correct dosage that you need to be taking them, that's where the game changer comes in. So, it's like everybody always says to me, well, I saw where, I should take just two of this supplement. It says on the label to take two. Folks, never take a supplement the way it says on a bottle, ever. Not one supplement out there, okay? Because those supplement labels are written by legal teams, okay? And they're for maintaining. If you are in a crisis state of any sort, which that means everybody who's not perfect, if you're trying to get over something, anything, then you need to take either more of the product or less of the product, depending on where your health is and depending on you know, what your responses to things are. So
Okay.
those are just maintenance doses. None of us are trying to maintain. We're trying to get over something, whether it's overweight or a parasite issue or a thyroid, whatever it is. The thousands and thousands and thousands of things it could be. If you're trying to get over stuff, you need to take higher doses of the recovery. And some people can take one and they feel an effect. Me, I take 30. I'm cool, man. It's a helper. One ain't gonna do nothing, you know? So yeah, I am just really looking forward to, and hopefully I can come back in 90 days, in 60, and then in 90 and share more of my results because this
Yeah.
has been a great journey. I've wanted to do this for years. It's been on my list. And I am so excited that I've actually been doing it, haven't skipped a day. I feel great. I feel bright. I can feel the stuff moving in my system and the little issues that I have. I mean, thank God I've known what I've known for the last 20 years because the little issues that I have and the things that could have really accrued into some serious problems, they haven't. And I've never spent, and again, in my entire adult life, and even as a child, well, as a child, I took a couple rounds of antibiotics. That was it. But I've never ever been in a hospital. I've never had a hospital stay. I've never taken a prescription medication my entire adult life. I've taken maybe 2 days off work. I've just never, nothing, nothing, nothing. And I mean, the jig is up. I will be 52 this month. If chronic illness or if something was creeping up in my system, by God, I would know by now.
Yeah. Yeah. You're
And I do my
walking.
blood. So, I can see the blood also tells me things that are coming up the pike 20, 30 years before they get to you. So we're
Hmm.
also taking care of all that when we do the blood.
So touch on that a little bit because we skipped over, how thorough it is with your microscope and what you do with that and how you find the root cause of issues. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yes, well, my microscope has over 40,000 times the magnification of a traditional microscope. So I'm able to see root core issues. So once again, we're living in reality about what's going on in our physiology. Okay.
Hmm.
So everybody has symptoms. So, people will go to the traditional physician and they will be presented with numbers. Okay. And then they'll just keep spending their life trying to chase those numbers. Okay. When someone
Yes.
gets their blood done by me, we find out because what causes illness are toxins. We all know that.
Hmm.
Okay. So we find out what the toxins are, where they're lying in the body, and then why they're there. Because if we don't figure this out, you ain't going nowhere, baby, except for being that gerbil on a wheel. Period. Okay. So we have to find out because when we find out what it's from, what's ailing you, like so many people have food allergies, for example, and the foods that they're eating are causing inflammation in the system,
Right.
hence an alkaline diet,
Right.
hence eating in a more pure form.
Hmm.
Okay. Because a lot of foods are just, they're ravenous in the body and they cause a lot of inflammation. Inflammation is the start of chronic disease. This is the kind of things we prevent here. So, like for example, somebody comes to me and they say, I've been to the doctor, I have fibromyalgia. That's a real common diagnosis. Well,
Yes.
what is fibromyalgia? What does that mean to me when I walk out of his office?
Right.
Okay. So fibromyalgia is a name that physicians give, meaning a host of symptoms. Okay. So what are those toxins? Where are they at? What do we have to tackle here? No, I just am walking away with a bunch of numbers.
Mm.
What's that telling me? That's
Mm.
telling me that that's a recipe for me to be sick for a lot of years and nobody be able to figure it out.
Right.
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 Things that take many years or months to figure out with allopathic approaches, I can figure out in 5 minutes when somebody's blood's under my microscope. The
Awesome.
cool thing about that is that there's nothing scary about it. We know what we're doing now. So we're not wasting our time, our energy, and all the thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands people spend on supplements they don't need. That's kind of why I was bringing up COVID earlier because we've a world of people now. Oh, I'm taking a great vitamin C, like they're not going to get COVID. We have to live in reality about things. Vitamin C does not kill a virus, first off. Okay. Other things do. And if you really want to boost your immunity, I'll tell you what, move those, all of those tons of toxins out of your body, and you might have a shot.
Yeah, get them out.
You want to keep from getting COVID. There's not, necessarily the magic COVID pill. It's about keeping your immunity high. And that's why I've never been for 1 second afraid of, and I haven't been. The last time I had the flu, I was in high school. So I've never been afraid of, obtaining any kind of virus or anything like that. I've been trying to discuss viruses with people for 20 years. So now, since COVID, the good thing about it is that people are discussing things that I've been trying to get people, make people aware of for the last
Yeah,
20 years,
that's
which is
nice.
cellular health,
Right.
immunity, and viruses. Okay. Viruses are tricky. They move very quickly for the system through the system. That's why they're scary. Hard to catch them. The reason why they're hard to catch is because they most of the time hide in your connective tissue or your fat cells. That's where
Yeah.
viruses tuck and hide. So
Mhm.
when people start detoxing, one of the big reasons why I do a 90-day recheck is that there's a lot of stuff that will start coming out in the connective tissue and the fat cells that we didn't see the first time we read the blood. No one's going to see it.
Ah,
So when we start detoxifying and start pulling that stuff out of the
the
system and the
layers.
removal of things, those
Ah,
viruses move and they're fast, buddy. They're fast. Really
wow.
tough to detect a virus. But thank goodness for my microscopy. And I thank God every day for that microscope. And I'm not kidding you, because I'm able to help people who can't get that help, that want it. It makes me sad.
Well, we're glad you're here because now we know that people have an opportunity to that there's another alternative. Like I said earlier, I played Dr. Roulette. The only ones who win in Dr. Roulette are the doctors and the insurance companies, right? And I wasn't getting answers until I landed into this product and this nutrition, and that's what changed my life, which is why we're here 9 years later, right? So I appreciate so much knowing that there's alternatives, and that's why I put this page together. That's why I have this group. It's like a community of people that want to know that there's other things out there they may not have been educated with or have that awareness of. And I met a lady a long time ago who taught me a phrase that I'll never forget. She said, educate so you don't have to medicate. And I'm like, God bless that
Oh,
woman
I
for
love
giving me that.
that.
Yeah, Dr. Althea Myrie, she's out of Texas, a naturopath, and just phenomenal, But
Yeah.
now there's
And
some questions. Let's see,
yeah,
coming up, there's some questions. Let me ask you. Adding this to the routine in the morning. Okay. Mouth health, make sure you take care of your whole system health. Yes. So he's was, so how long do you take it? She did talk about taking 30 a day for 90 days, John. And how do you know when you have completely detoxified?
well, you
And
look at the
people want
blood.
your info.
Like everybody, I got to see your blood.
Okay, so let me type in your website again is Laura, or do we want empowering humans? Which one is it?
Well, I mean, anybody can, send me a text. Just shoot me a text on my 917-449-1060 number. Just shoot me a text, tell me who you are, and I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. I'm usually really good about getting back pretty fast, unless I'm driving or something like that and I can't text back, but I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And, and then we'll get you going, because you just, everything is in the blood. And I mean, like the really cool thing is when I met Dr. Cohn years ago and he was in my car, I looked at this man and the total vibe was of what a good person he is. I
Yes.
mean, it just, and so I knew that the core energy of the company was just banging. I'm like, this is the guy who developed it. This has got to be a phenomenal product. And I mean, I get approached by salesmen all the time for different products. I learn about products 3 to 5 years before the American public learns about them in general, because I'm a target for supplement salesmen. They know I have a celebrity clientele. They know that I'm in a naturopathics. They know I read blood. I suggest supplements. So I'm a big target for people like that. And I mean, it is just so rare that I just really meet people with that kind of energy that just really give a damn. Okay. And as soon as I met Dr. Cohn, I just knew it. I just knew that he like cared. That's why he developed this product.
Yeah.
And I mean, I always cherish all the time I've ever spent with him,
Mhm.
and everybody loves him. He's so smart. And usually people like that, I deal with a lot of scientists and stuff like that. Usually people like that, operate off of ego. He doesn't operate off ego
Not at
at
all.
all. He's just good, a good human,
This is
and he's so smart. And, it's people like him. But, this is another thing I have to impress on people out there. I get a lot of people who say, well, I read on the internet, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Someone like myself, someone like Dr. Cohn, who even has more experience than me. Okay. We have a little something called case studies.
yeah.
So, how do you know what you're reading on the internet's even true? You have to rely on someone you trust and their expertise to get you from your point A to your point B, because you can always read any two sides about any topic. If I read a topic about one article about pizza, one's going to tell me it's bad, the other one's going to tell me how it's going to create longevity. I mean, that's the internet. Okay. So with the yeah, pizza longevity, I wish. So
It's not a four major food group.
right, right. Right, right. Yeah, if I mean it, even in a 20-mile radius of a slice of pizza, I gain 5 pounds, right? So it's a big inflammation food for me. Um, but in any event, you have to rely on people that you can trust, like a Dr. Cohn, like myself, who has just no agenda. It is sincerely from the bottom of his heart, from the bottom of my heart. We want to see people get better. There's no agenda behind it. We got in this business because we want to help people, period.
Yes.
This isn't about take every supplement on the planet, do this, do that. It's about take what's important. And there's nothing you're ever going to take that's more important than alkalizing. It just isn't. You're just not. I don't care how great of an herb, a supplement, or whatever you think you got on your hands. You have to alkalize. That covers thousands of issues in your system. When you take the recover, when you take these products, when you take greens, it covers a lot of bases. So you've got these handful of supplements that cover thousands of issues in your system. This is what we
Exactly.
want. This is what we want for everybody.
hmm Thank you so much, Laura. I just so appreciate your passion, your enthusiasm, your humor, and your intensity with, with true passion to really get to the root cause, help people get their challenges resolved, and be able to really get back to back on that road to vitality. But I like that, we've got a road map for you guys now with just incorporating, a lot more extra of this can be something that could be a real big solution for people. You won't know until you try it. So I would encourage everybody to document your stuff, like write down when you start, write down how you feel, what's going on, what you notice. And then as you go through the month, like we were talking over the month, she's noticed all these different things and now is excited about what 90 days is. So let's
Yeah.
start with 30, and then if you're going to the 90, then we can talk about it. But what she said was taking you from A to B. And I like this acid to B, better. Let's get to
Yeah, yeah,
better,
that's
right?
a good way to put it, actually.
Yeah, and you're rebuilding, you're detoxing, and then you're rebuilding, and then because you're detoxing and rebuilding, you're going to be preventative going forward, all the way
Yeah,
going
yeah,
forward. And
and I'll tell you, I am so stoked because I see all the results that I've gotten, and I mean, I live a healthy lifestyle to begin with, right?
yeah, you
But I see
are.
all the results that I've gotten in 35 days. Oh my God! Somebody called me the other morning. One of the pro athletes I coach, right? And he said, "Oh, so you wearing your cape today?" Because I told him how great I was feeling from detoxing, right? I said, "A cape. I'm wearing three today."
I love it. Three
I got
capes.
3 capes on today, buddy. Yeah. And I'm just like envisioning not only how I'm gonna feel 90 days from now, but just I mean every benefit and where I'm gonna be putting my system in a total alkaline state.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness. I'm so
everything's
excited.
better. Yeah,
Yes,
everything's
yes.
better. For people who meditate, meditation's better. For people who exercise, exercise is better. For people who do anything, everything's better, right? There's
Oh
a
my
question here
goodness.
about, are you eating a plant-based diet during your detox?
Oh yeah. I eat
Okay,
plant-based diet in general, you
yeah,
know.
there you go.
I do eat a lot of salmon because salmon has an array of B vitamins and we need those B vitamins in our system. Make no
Okay,
mistake about it.
right, right, right.
I don't eat strictly plant-based because I have a lot of theories on why that eating 100% plant-based may not be for everybody.
Right.
Okay. So 73% of our American population is O blood type. Okay, so most people have certain propensities towards certain physiological issues. I eat a small piece of red meat once a month. That works for me. I
Yeah.
get a lot of B vitamins in my system. I get B6 and B12 shots weekly. Um, that's really great because if you do a little research on B vitamins and all the benefits, you can just Google benefits of B vitamins. They are fabulous for your system.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they're a good thing to incorporate with all this other stuff. So it's real
Yes.
cool, but we all need those B vitamins, and B vitamins are great for stress. And a lot
Yes.
of us, I think, that are joining us today, we live kind of like high stress lifestyles. Well, better go get a shot. Shots. And I mean, it's okay. It's super simple. It'll make a world of difference. I mean, when people get enough B vitamins in their system, I mean, you talk about feeling it in 5 minutes, that's where you're at. So that's real
Insta.
helpful because we still need that nutrition. Even
Yes.
though we're detoxing and we're removing, the toxins from our system, my program is based upon getting nutrition and eating foods that actually benefit your physiology.
Perfect.
So the large percentage of my diet is plant based, the largest percentage, but not all of it. I eat a lot of cashew cheese with celery. I eat a lot of that. I eat a lot of
I'm gonna try that.
what I'll say, yeah, I make a lot of cashew cheese. So easy and it's
That's good.
delicious.
Yeah.
Um, I ate a lot of vegetables, a lot of asparagus,
Very
a
alkalized. Asparagus, Brussels sprouts,
lot of
good stuff.
quinoa, a
Quinoa.
lot of quinoa.
Yes.
Plain
Good.
quinoa cleans you out, buddy. So I have some
Mhm.
great quinoa salads I make.
Yeah.
I have eggs on occasion.
Mhm.
I like the avocado egg toast on Ezekiel.
Yeah. Good
So I'll have
stuff.
that every once in a while.
Hey, maybe the next time we have you back, we can talk about the dietary aspects, like the food choices that you make, because that's a whole nother subject. And I know you've helped me a lot and several other people on here that are with us today with incorporating a few different natural substances within our shakes or within our diet to help support our body in areas that we need that support, like the collagen supplementation. So
Yeah,
can we have you come back for another show in the near future where we talk
I would
about
love
that?
that because I can speak endlessly about nutrition. And
Yeah,
here's
and
the
the teas that
common,
you
like,
make,
I'm so sorry, honey.
the teas and the smoothies and all of that, the different stuff that
Oh,
you
I got a great smoothie recipe I can give
yeah,
everybody. It
yeah.
is killer.
Well,
Okay.
let's leave them curious for that one, okay?
Yes, yes, because I exist off this smoothie for a lot of weeks. But anyway, um, what the misconception is, and I've gone through this for 16 years with the raw food community because I'm a big part of the raw food community. I've done blood for all the raw food institutes at one time or another. I'm an ambassador for the Hippocrates Institute. I direct people to there if they need to be encased, for a period of time. I'm very, very big proponent in raw foods, and I understand what it does. But what will happen is that people will change their diets, and they feel so much better. And when you're doing raw foods, I'll
Right.
tell you, you for a period of time, you will start to feel euphoric, and it's amazing. Because this is another thing that I was, telling Carrie the other day. When you get your body good and detoxed, and you have lived a certain way for a period of time, there is a euphoria that you feel that no alcohol, no drug, no nothing can make you feel. And the sense of accomplishment that you're going to feel from detoxifying your body, from achieving this, is unparalleled.
Mhm.
There isn't a drug, an alcohol, a nothing that is going to make you feel this zen. And that's why I'm encouraging people to take your higher doses of recovery because you will get there if you do.
Mhm.
I'm a pretty happy person right now. but what let me lead back to this is that I think a lot of people are under the misconception, as a lot of raw foodists are, that they switch to this raw food diet so they think they've got their health licked.
Mm.
And what happens classically across the board 100% of the time is that they will change just their diet. And then they will go along for a year to year and a half, and guaranteed everybody who does this will end up in a naturopath's office somewhere, somehow, in about a year to 2 years from the time they start the raw foods, because the initial health issues that they had, did not magically go away. The raw foods encourage the environment in your system to operate better, but they don't fix all your health problems. It
Gotcha. It's just
encourages that to happen. It's more likely it will happen if you change your diet. It's better for you. You stop dumping poison in your system.
right,
But does it take away? No, acidity can grow in your system for decades and decades and years.
right.
So you have to detoxify. What's the best way to detoxify and not ever accrue that chronic disease? Alkalization. Alkalize your system.
Perfect summary. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for wrapping it up for us and sharing that. And I'm super excited to share a quick little challenge as we close this out. You just appreciate so much your wisdom. This has been fun. And I know everybody's got a lot out of it. So here's my little challenge for those of you who are your customers, anyone on watching this or customers that are ordering, let them know, because a lot of us have customers who love this product. So I'm going to throw a challenge out there for any of us that are ordering the buy 3, get 1 free here this weekend. I'm going to put everybody that orders a buy 3, get 1 free. If you're an agent, please let me know if you're doing this, because it's easier for me to track customers than agents. So if you're an agent, let me know. But for all of us, anybody who's ordering a buy 3, get 1 free this weekend, to set yourself up, it's going to be 12 days, right, Laura? One bottle will give you 12 days.
No.
No, I'm sorry, 4 bottles will give you 12
Yeah,
days.
so you're gonna have to do the buy 2 of the buy 3, get 1 free is what you'll do, because you'll go through 2 bottles a week.
Okay, so 2 bottles a week. Thank you.
Right.
Okay.
So, but I mean, it's for a temporary period of time. This
Right.
isn't forever. And
Right.
then you cut, and then you can cut way back, cut back to half at first, but keep it going where you're alkalizing your system. 90 days is a great period of time to do that in.
Yeah.
It's, and just
Okay.
keep doing it, for 90 days.
But we're going to ride on the Laura challenge then. So anybody who's doing that, so like what she said now, I guess that means you would get 2 packages, because you got to have enough to go through your first month. So at least do that this weekend. Let your folks know we've got a fun little challenge, and we're going to report back to Laura in 30 days and see how we're all doing. And then she'll give us some more great tips on food and nutrition and other things we can do in the kitchen to really, biohack and biostack elevate our ability to get back on that road to vitality faster. So we are all one happy bunch of people with some incredible energy, and we're making a difference in the world. So I want to thank everybody for being here. And if you are ordering that, if you're in that drawing, everybody that orders, you're going to be in the drawing from me to get a full 4-pack from me. So a buy 3, get 1 free from me.
Oh, that is so awesome.
Yeah. So that's a pretty good value. 4 bottles from me. If you're ordering today and you're getting yourself set up on this challenge with us, let me know. If you're a customer and I see your order, I'll put you in there as well. And we will report back in 30 days to see how we're all doing. And whoever wins that this weekend through Monday, I'll be pulling your name Monday night, and we'll be letting you know when you get your next 4-pack from me. Okay?
Oh, absolutely.
Carrie Jo, I have one question to ask before she leaves.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Betty.
I know she's not a doctor or anything, but I have a question to ask her. Is 22 grams of vitamin D too much
I'm an ND, by the way.
a day?
Okay, yeah. And is what now, honey? 22 grams of protein?
22 grams of vitamin D too much a day?
No, no.
Grams?
In general, but I would have to see your blood to see if that's even prudent for you, or if you're even.
Well, I was wondering for my son-in-law. His doctor has him on 22 grams, and we were just thinking that was too much.
It depends on what's going on in his system, very honestly.
His
He may not even